So what if you want to keep a debt out of the bankruptcy in a Chapter 7 and you don't want to get rid of that asset? What do? Well, you can sign a reaffirmation agreement. Check out our next video for some more detail on how you do that and what the ramifications are. So when you file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, one of the forms that you're going to fill out on your petition is going to be a statement of intent. And what this document is it's saying what you intend to do with certain debt, secured debt. So if you have a car or a home and you're wanting to keep those items, you will sometimes have to sign a reaffirmation agreement in order to keep those. Now, what is that? If you don't sign this reaffirmation agreement, then that debt is discharged in your bankruptcy. Now, in our district, we're in the Northern District of Georgia, it really doesn't matter if you sign one or not on your home. You are not required to. No one's going to come foreclose on your house because you didn't sign a reaffirmation agreement. As long as you make your payments on time to your lender, you're perfectly fine. Now, it could come up if you're trying to refinance with that specific lender. Sometimes we see them try to bully clients into reopening a case, which is usually never a really good idea, and it's expensive, to reopen a case, to sign a reaff, to do a refinance, and 9 times out of 10, that's just a bad idea. And what we tell clients if they get to that point is, just go to another provider. Most providers, as long as you can print out a payment history showing payments since you came out of your bankruptcy, the refinance goes just fine. The other issue though that comes up, at least in our district, is for cars. And for cars, you need a reaffirmation agreement if you want to keep it. Because what happens is the debt will be discharged, and even if you're current on that debt, if you've not signed a reaffirmation agreement on that car, the lender could actually come and take the collateral. Cars can move around, houses can't, so that's probably one reason why it's such a big issue. So if you want to keep your car, at least here in the Northern District of Georgia, you're going to need to sign this agreement. Now, what is the agreement? Basically, you're just reaffirming on the agreement that you had signed up with the lender when you originally took out the loan. Now, we have clients and they will try to negotiate with the lender, get a better deal, interest rate. That's fine if you want to try that. Most of the time, the lenders, however, don't. You're simply just signing back up for the contract that you originally had, and you just keep making your payments. So if you are wanting to keep an asset, you definitely want to do this. I will say one area where you want to get away from a reaffirmation agreement is if you have junior mortgages. So if you have a second or a third mortgage, you would probably not want to sign a reaffirmation agreement, because here's why. Say everything's going along fine, you signed a reaff on your first and your second mortgage, but then something happens and you lose your home, and maybe during the foreclosure it doesn't pay off the second mortgage. Well, guess what? Because you reaffirmed on that debt, it didn't get discharged in the bankruptcy, and now they're going to come after you for the balance. So it's an unsecured debt at that point, but they will come after you. So if you are in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, really sit down with your attorney and go over exactly what you have to reaffirm, and then just think about going forward, what could come up and, what the risks are. You're going to get a fresh start, so you want to make sure that you're not burdened by a lot of debt just coming out. So the good news is with reaffirmation agreements, if you change your mind while you're in your case, you can rescind the agreement, meaning that you need to in writing notify the creditor that you are not going to go forward with it. You can rescind the agreement anytime before discharge or 60 days after the reaffirmation agreement has been filed on the docket. Just make sure you notify your attorney. In our office, we always file a notice of rescission on the docket with a certificate of service, just to make sure that there's proof that the notice was sent out within the proper time frames. If you have any questions about reaffirmations, you can always send us an email. The information is down below in the description, and we're always happy to answer questions.